Perfect. Yeah. So, hi everybody. So, welcome to today's session on legal insurance plus dental insurance. So, today's agenda will be like a small overview on legal. So, if you are already known to it, it'll be like a recap. And then we'll see a very important one like why GetSafe is cheaper. And we were just curious because a lot of customers were also asking Livinton this question: How come they're
Of
cheaper and
course.
how come ARAG is not so cheap? And we wanted to analyze like what is missing there or
Mm,
what is why it is cheap. So maybe this could be a very good insight for you in terms of information. And at last, of course, since we have as people, can talk about dental, and Livinton can explain us how a dental is calculated and what kind of coverage does a dental insurance has. I hope this is okay. So, so Livinton, I'll start directly with my question. So Livinton is from Krefeld ARAG, his company, and he's been working with us now almost 1.5 years as a cooperation
yes.
manager, his branch totally. So Livinton, say a few words about you, and then let's start to the questions.
Yes, of course. How Arun say we working now more than 1 year together. We make for customers the claim, and also if they need to sell, if they need some helping to buy some insurance, we also support them with
Mhm.
our knowledge, and we try to make every customers happy.
Mhm.
And I hope also Live in Germany get a good feedback from us or
Yeah,
from the customer.
we do. We have a so far a lot of positive feedback on that, no doubt.
Great.
That's also reason we're working long. And thank you, Livinton, for that. And we'll jump. So legal insurance, Livinton. So could you say a few words on what is a legal insurance and what is it
Mm.
about?
In my opinion, legal insurance is something where you can get information about your rights, and
Mhm.
also let's say something happened bad. For example, you are now in some because of Corona, you don't can work full time,
Mhm.
and you get only 60% payment, and you want to know
Mhm.
how if the company has the rights to do it,
Mhm.
or I have maybe some other option how I can use
Mhm.
my rights to
Okay.
get more information about it. Legal insurance is something for you. It's like information. You get more information about Germany,
Mhm.
and you also get information what I can do and what I cannot do. This is legal insurance in
Okay.
my opinion.
Okay. So what kind of, I think that's a very top level
Okay,
example. So I'll just come like a bit more deep and want to know like
of
what
course,
kind of cost does a legal insurance
of
normally
course,
covers? That's
of
very
course.
basic to understand.
Yes, legal insurance cover all the costs like lawyer costs,
Mhm.
court costs. Also, let's say you need a dolmetscher because you don't can read it.
Translators, yeah.
Then the legal insurance will also pay dolmetscher,
Mhm.
or you need a guy who checks a contract. It
Mhm.
calls Jura check. You can send us the contract, the work contract,
Mhm.
or the house contract. We will also check it. This kind of cost will be covered by the legal insurance.
Okay, okay, that's I think very clear. And
Yes.
another question, the next important question, what everyone has to understand is what kind of things, like say for example, private legal. So what sectors does a legal insurance, like a normal legal insurance, covers basically?
Yes, of course. We can start with a private legal insurance. Private legal insurance means, let's say, you buy and sell something in the internet.
Hmm.
You get a fine from tax office.
Hmm.
You have an accident, and they not pay for you the accident money because maybe you cannot work for 3 or 4 days, and
Hmm.
they have to pay you some money. It's called Schadenanspruch. It means you have a claim and
Hmm.
you want to get some money, and then if they not pay, you have to go legally. Or
Okay.
you have a medical issue.
Hmm.
Maybe they make, for example, the wife is pregnant. She's pregnant and she have a some medical issues happen, and you want to go legally. You want to read it what the doctor write. This is all the stuff is private.
Hmm.
And then we have the position job. Let's say you get a cancellation letter. They say, hey, you have to change the city from München. You have to go to Berlin. We have no project for you. Or let's say you get some company stress, where you say, I'm mentally so blocked, I want to know what they can do and what they not can do, for example.
Okay. Okay.
And the other one is landlord issue. Landlord issue means you get problems with deposit. You get problems, let's say, with some Nebenkost. How we can say Nebenkost in English?
Additional cost, for example, which comes at the end of the year. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. And you say, hey, Livy, I want to check it. I think there are some mistakes. Please check it with a lawyer. We can also support you in this case. Let's say you have some problems with your neighbor. They say, hey, your kids make so many trouble. It's no fine. Please stop it. And you say, hey, my kids is so small. He make troubles. No? And then we can also handle it with a lawyer. We can also support you to write a letter to your neighbor, or to write a letter to your company, so that you get a positive feedback.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's really so. Some people make trouble, and if they know, okay, Arun knows the rules, and then they will be careful. They will say, okay, this guy know what happened in Germany. Be careful. Okay. It's every time so.
I think that's something very important. Okay, they have a legal support, then it means they have kind of protection naturally. Yes. So you spoke about private and landlord related issues. What are the other things, Livinton? Like I think one is job and traffic or vehicle related. Could you say a few things about these two categories, please?
Of course, traffic is also important. Let's say you get your license and you say, hey, come on, I want to drive the car. And if you're starting to driving the car, you can get problems. We can say with camera bills, you can maybe you cross the red signal, or you make an accident, or the police stop you and you get a fine. And in this category, traffic, you can use the lawyer to get the opinion, and you can also use it to get the support. How you can come out from this case. Let's say you get the camera bill on the and they say, hey, you cannot driving the car for 1 month.
Okay.
And you say, oh, I need it for my job. Then no problem. You get a letter from Verkehrsamt, from the government, traffic government, traffic department. And then you have to go. Then you have to go to the lawyer and show it. First step is I get lots of my customer get lots of times camera bills. And important is every time if the police stop you, or you get a letter, tell them, hey, I want to speak with my lawyer, and he will give you the answer. This is also fine. Okay. Because in you have not to tell the police or the government direct immediately. Okay. You can also say, hey, I'm now nervous, I need some time. I will go to my lawyer, and they can support you immediately.
Okay. This is related to traffic. So
traffic.
All right. So what the other thing related to jobs, what kind of problems will be normally covered by a legal insurance?
Of course, job issues is every time you get a cancellation letter, for example. The company send you a cancellation letter, and there's mentioned, hey, Mr. Singh, if we will cancel you, you will get 10,000 euros. You're working for our company 6 years, you will get from us 10,000 euros. Please leave it. In this case, the customer also, where it happened, he also called Singh, and it was so you can go to the lawyer and can check every position. For example, let's say you do your bachelor or master, you can ask them also for more money if they cancel you. This support you will get from the lawyer.
Okay. So in terms of severance pay, I can understand, like if somebody loses job and the amount of compensation is not up to the mark, then a lawyer can support somebody in terms of that. What about, say, for example, Eltern, Zeit or some other related issue? In that case, does insurance support a person?
Yes, of course. Let's say you are an Eltern Zeit, and after the Eltern Zeit, you come back to the company. and they make some problems.
Okay.
Or between the, let's say you are apply for the Eltern side and they make some problems, and then you need a legal help. It is also fine.
Okay.
My opinion is you can ask us for good lawyers in your city. You can also find in our homepage, but if you put your postcode and everything, then you go to the lawyer, meet him face to face, tell him the problem, and he will give you a solution how to apply for the Eltern side.
Okay. 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 I think this is
in
information.
90% of the case, it come not directly to no. The company will not say no, but they make a delay. They try to make it delay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I think these were the 4 important categories. And guys, since we do have like the time and also the crowd is small, if you have any question, feel free to ask directly right now, or you can also write on chat so that I can ask to Livinton, and then we can proceed with the further points on the insurance, basically.
Of course.
So anybody have any questions? Do you want to clarify? Is it okay? Then okay.
Hi, Arun. Kaushik.
Please, yes. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I had one question. So, for example, if we are taking our existing business and there, if we have any kind of doubts, and does that comes under this legal insurance, or that is something not covered by legal insurance?
Again, your question was your business?
Yeah, if we are, for example, if we are taking our existing business or making partnership with someone who is already running some business.
Of course, a good question, really good question. ARAG, our provider do something, they say, hey, for the customers who do a business, we have also the if someone grow up for a business, we will also support them legally, of course. If you make more than 22,000 euros per year, then you have to change your legal insurance in a business legal insurance.
Yeah, but my question was before starting the business. So before
of course, they will support you. They will support you.
Okay. And this comes directly in the legal insurance, or there will be something like in the for minimum amount we have to pay something, and after some minimum amount it comes under the insurance?
No, it is so. If let's say before you're starting the legal insurance, you need some information or some support. For example, you need some information about Datenschutz, or you need some information how to take the product from India to, for example, this question, and you want some legal aspect, then it's not the problem. You can call the lawyers. I can send you some numbers, and then you can talk. It will be covered.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No problem.
So if anything, please feel free. I think there is another question. Legal insurance also covers regarding residence permit issues with Ausländerammt.
It's a good question. Lots of ARAG partner also not know that. Legal insurance covered also immigration with 700 euros maximum. It means if you have some issues with immigration, call us. I will give you the claim number so that you can go to the lawyer and fight. But maximum amount what you get is 700 euros.
Okay. That's okay. So I think that would be enough for a couple of consultations.
Of course, yeah.
Considering the price of lawyer per hour.
Yeah, also it's a new one. It's really new.
Okay. So another question is, does legal insurance support for buying houses in Germany?
For buying houses, we say yes. For example, you can also use our network. It means lots of customers want to check the notar contract. Then you can send to me. I will send to the lawyer who I know, and we will support you. Also, if you get any problems, let's say with a seller legally, then you also can go to the lawyer, or you want just information. For example, one of my customers buy a house and it was Erbpachtgrundstück. It means Erbpachtgrundstück means the how we can say Grundstück in English again. Grundstück. Plot.
Land plot or plot.
Land. Let's say the land is not from you; it's from the church, and he don't know what is the meaning from Erbpachtgrundstück. Then he can also call the lawyer and ask this question so that he get more knowledge.
Okay. But I think the notary process as such is not covered, right? Like for example,
yes, it's not covered. The notar procedure is not covered. But if you want to check the notar before, it means he get a letter. Also, I think 1 week before he will get a letter from notar where he can ask some question. What is the mention? It will be covered. Yeah,
because that is a huge cost and.
Of course,
question. That's why I wanted to make.
True.
Thank you for the question and thank you for the answer. So please write questions. I'll ask Livinton as we go. So these are the 4 categories, as he said. So I want to explain the other 2 different types of terms used in insurance, Livinton. So one is waiting period, and then the self-detection value, for example. So could you tell about waiting period first? Like how much of waiting period does an insurance have?
Of course. Waiting periods we have only in job issues. We have 3 months waiting times. We have in landlord issues 3 months waiting times. In if you want to buy a land and building a house, then we have 6 months waiting times.
Okay, that is the
Bauherr.
Okay, but that is an optional only when somebody wants to build a house, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So
there are lots of, for example, there are lots of customers from our community who have the idea to buy a land and building a house. And lots of people get also the problem with in time Corona, it coming to delay. And also we support them. In this case, also one of my customers, his name is also Kanan. He gets, for example, from his provider every month 500 euros because it's delayed too much and the bank cannot have this money on the account, let's say for more than 6 months, then they have to pay some Strafzinsen, also some penalty. If the bank say, I won't put it, how long it take that the house is finished so that we can make the payment out.
Okay. Such things can be handled by both.
Of course, it's illegal.
When somebody buys a land and builds a house and not for everybody, I guess. The other one I wanted everyone to understand is the self-detectable value, because next we'll move on to the GetSafe. So this word everyone has to understand clearly. So could you tell what is this self-detectable value, Livinton?
You have an option to say, I take some self-contribution. It means if you say 150 euro, 300 or 500 euros, then the monthly premium will be lesser. If you make self-contribution 0, for example, you pay 30 euros. If you say I put 150 euros, it will be lesser than 3 euros. And if you paid 250, it will be lesser than 4 euros. And then you can say, okay, then you can choose how much you want to put self-contribution. Important thing is you don't have to pay every time. If you go to the lawyer, you have to pay just if you go to the each case, you have to pay once 150 euros. It means, let's say you have an issue with your landlord. This is one case. Still the finish, you have just to pay 150 euros. The rest amount will be paid by ARAG or by the insurance.
So I hope this term like clarification was understandable. If you have any question, just pause and ask, because this term you will hear very like a lot of times in different kinds of insurances in Germany, and not just in legal insurance. And it is very important that you need to understand this term, because
of course
because of this sometimes. So please, if you have a question, please do ask.
Does this apply only when we have really issue with someone, or also when we want to get only information from lawyer?
If you want only information from the lawyer, you don't have to pay nothing. It's every time if the lawyer have to, let's say, have to write something for you or have to handle for you. That's mean they have to send a letter to someone. He have to ask the government for letters. For example, in this case, you have to pay €150. If you have just questions, you don't have to pay nothing, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so fine. I think these are like very basic terms and it's very good explanation. So I think I can record and also host online. So hopefully,
Great.
for the questions. So I'll jump into the very important topic, Livinton. We are also on time, so we'll have enough time for dental also. So could you tell us like what is the difference or why is GetSafe, or what did you find when you comparing GetSafe with your own provider?
Of course,
What is cheaper, for example?
Yes.
What is not there? So could you tell something on this, or
Of course.
share something?
Yes, of course. Let's say if you want the same price like GetSafe, I can make our instance 5 to 6 kilos lesser.
Okay.
Because it was last time also I talked with one of my customers. He signed it by me. He takes it from me because I explain him everything. The problem is GetSafe or the provider have self contribution. The starting was €300 that you will not see, but if you read the Bedingungen, you go and read everything, condition, then you will find out in the first year you have €300 if you don't make claims. Next year you have a self contribution from €200. Let's say you make a claim, then you get a self contribution for €500.
Okay.
For example, also if you go and GetSafe, you have to click. They will ask you if you are single, married, or you have kids. If you put all the stuff and then they ask me for your question, erweiterter Strafrechtsschutz.
Okay.
For example, erweiterter Strafrechtsschutz means it means you get a penalty or you get a fine from the government, or somebody say you do it wrong.
Okay.
This is a erweiterter Strafrechtsschutz, and if you click it, then it get again €3 expensive for.
Okay.
And normally I will tell you, really, if you make the calculation and if you want 1-to-1, I can make it lesser, of course, because the problem is if you put €300 self contribution, you will never go to the lawyer, because in your mind, let's say you get a camera bill and the whole cost it's on about €400 to €500, and then you will say, well, if I have to go to the lawyer or not, and the insurance saving lots of money.
Okay. I understand. I mean, I'm sharing it on the screen now, Livinton. So some of
from GetSafe,
from GetSafe website, you can also check later yourself. So based on this, we found this detail on why it is actually being priced like that. So this is one point. What else did you find, Livinton? So
okay, the other point is also what I find is, let's say, GetSafe. I heard it only. For example, they make every time you can cancel it every day, and let's say a claim happen. They do something, they paid the claim, and next day they send you a letter. We cannot work together. Please, we have to cancel your contract.
Okay. And what happens if like that? Something like that happens? Can you still go on to a different company, or does it create any problem?
No, it's not create any problems, but in insurance, companies are also connected together.
Okay.
It means it's like Finanzamt or Schufa, bonification score.
Okay.
Every claim will be right there.
Okay.
And let's say a company cancel you, then the provider will think why they cancel him. So maybe I make it expensive, for example.
So what you save initially, you lose it later if something like this happens. It's not a common case, but if something like this happens,
yes,
there's
of course,
a chance that you will have to pay more now to get a same insurance because they canceled your contract.
Yes, because it was also every time the same. The customers don't read it.
Yep.
They say, "Oh, great, so cheap. Everything is in English. Come on, I buy it."
Yep.
Then they have issue. They go to the lawyer, and the lawyer say, "Oh, great, we will do it. Please pay us 300 euros. The rest amount from 100 euros will be paid by GetSafe."
Okay. Okay. And then comes the.
It's not clever to take with with big self contribution.
Okay. 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 I think that makes total sense, because if you have two troubles, then you start losing 600 euros per year, which destroys the purpose. I mean, if you're not expecting in something randomly happens, it's fine. But I think if you're expecting or there's a chance and still you do this, then it's a loss for you at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yes, of course, because importance, in my opinion, for example, if you get any, let's say, lots of people come to me and say, "Hey, Livy, I get this and this offer.
Okay.
Can you do it? Because I can speak with you. You have time for me. How it look?" Then I say, "Okay, how much you pay there?" Then they say every time, "Yeah, I pay per year 100 euro, 150 euros lesser." Then I say, "Okay, no problem. Let's check it." And every time they put some self contribution, and I ask them, I can make it also same if you want it.
Okay.
If you say yes, I can do it for you, of course. But please don't call me. "Hey, I'm sitting to the lawyer. I have to pay 300 euros," because you choose the product.
Yes. Yes. I mean, if you make the choice of paying 300 euros, then you have to pay it. You don't have an option of then coming later and saying, "Why is it so high?" Yeah, that's understandable.
Yes, of course.
I think that's a very a simple way of comparison and telling us like what is the difference and why is GetSafe cheap, and how they have made the product like that, and what can be a possible trouble which could come at later point.
Of course. And also, let's say, of course, GetSafe is, of course, it's better than nothing, of course, but important is if you have a chance to get better offer and lesser, of course, you can call us and we will try to make a offer for you what is suitable.
Okay. I mean, that's totally fine, Livinton. I think that people interested definitely come to us, so it's easier.
Great. Of course, no problem. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's fine. So I think these are all the questions I had regarding a legal insurance. I think you have given a lot of examples and explained it. We have also seen specific cases and questions. So could you give us, like, for example, what would be a rough cost, or I think we'll do that, like a rough cost for a single person who's like 25 years old, single. What do you think will be a legal insurance price for 3 or 4 of them?
Let's say for singles, I can do it, for example, around about 18 euros.
Okay.
With a good coverage where you have not head up with self contribution, or really less.
Okay.
And for married people, I can make it for 21 euros.
Okay.
But let's say he want a little bit more coverage.
Okay.
Then it's also fine. It will be expensive, of course, more than, let's say, 28 euros a legal insurance, roundabout like the same one. What we say if you make the calculation on GetSafe. Okay. But important is for me, I like to, I will call the customers every time I make a small analysis. It means I have some questions to the customer. They have to answer it, and then I put in my system and choose the right product for him.
All right.
And then, of course, your customer will get, of course, 30% rabatt. If they come from Arun, don't worry.
That's fine. That's really nice. I mean, that is a good point.
Because important is, some customer are calling me and say, "I work in this company more than 20 years. I don't want job." And I say, "Okay, we can take it out. We can also take the things out so that we only put what he need." And that way I make some questions so that we can find the right product.
All right. I think that's really nice, Livinton. So guys, I think these are all like basic questions on legal. We will go on to the dental part now. If you have any questions on legal, please feel free to ask it, or either write it on chat so we can ask that. Or I can, if you want to know about say liability or household, we can also give a small brief on that topic also. Please do write in the comments or chat, for example, or comments chat section. Yeah. So anybody wants to have any questions on legal, or do you want to proceed further with dental? Please, Rajesh. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Livi. This is Rajesh here. I have a
Hi.
question with the legal thing.
Mhm.
So suppose we are already having some cases with different lawyers. So is it possible to switch these cases to this ARAG insurance thing? Will the ARAG accept these requests?
This is not covered because if you go to a lawyer on your own self, it means you take a lawyer XY and it's already started. It is not covered, of course, because every time, if you have any, let's say you have some issues, that's not a problem, and you don't go to the lawyer, then we can change it to ARAG. That's not the problem. But if you already went to a lawyer, then we cannot do it, Rajesh. Lyra.
Okay.
Okay. And the second thing will be like usually I see like it will take normally like years together for some of the cases. Like so, suppose if we take the RAG insurance, so will this same insurance covers for the number of years that the case runs, or it will only cover for the initial meetings with the lawyer or something?
Okay, let's say some case, it's true, some cases are running more time, and then we will check it once, and then of course we will pay also the lawyer fees and also the court fees. But let's say some issues come for let's say from 10 years it come now, it's also fine, then we will also make the payment for you. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like suppose we file a case this year and the case runs for 3-4 years. So we need to only pay the court fees and also the initial 150 euros. So
No.
other
For
than
example,
this,
for example, let's say you take the insurance on 1st of July, for example, and you have a case in July. Let's say you buy something or some case happen, then we will pay whole the case, court and lawyer fees, everything, still the ending. It can also run in 3 years or 4 years,
Okay.
of course. It's not a problem. We will fight, still you win, or still we make a deal with them.
Okay, and the lawyer will be the same, or the lawyer changes every time?
No, the lawyer will be same because we have two options. One option is you can take some lawyers from yourself, or you can say, hey, Libby, give me some lawyers. Then I will send you some lawyers from ARAG. They are cooperation partner from us, and they will, let's say, still the lawyer office is there. They will fight for us.
Okay,
Till the lawyer is alive, he'll fight for you. That's what.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Livy.
Of course, no problem. Take care.
Yeah, I think this brings to a topic which I might have missed by mistake, the topic of mediation. I mean, we didn't talk about mediation in cost or in when we spoke about. So could you tell about, I mean, not every case has to go to, I mean, not every problem has to go to a court to be solved.
Of course.
So what is this mediation, Livinton, and does this cost is covered by legal insurance?
Of course, mediation is also a kind of a lawyer, but he is someone who don't say, hey, come on, we will fight and we will win. He is someone, he make a deal with the other person. Okay. Let's say, for example, you give someone 10,000 euros, for example, and he don't give it back. Example, no? And this mediator will try to get at least 5,000 euros.
All right.
He will say, if we go to the court, for example, he can say, I have no money. Let's find a solution how we can make a middle deal. So both have a plus.
Okay.
That mediation you can use for everything. You can use if you want to have a deal with your company. If you want to have a deal with your landlord, you can use every time.
Okay. So this can be used for different problems by different
Of course.
mediators and solved.
If you see, okay, if I go to the court, I have no chance,
Yeah.
because he can say I cannot pay. In this case, it's great to use the mediator.
Okay. Sometimes a compromise by both sides can.
Of course, it's better than the head up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Some cases I can show you also, it's running 2 years, 3 years. It's better if you use a mediator and say, come on, take the 5,000 euros, give me at least a half.
All right. I think some cases are like that. I understand.
Of course, yeah.
I think this was one example.
It's only the example.
Yeah.
Also with job, let's say they will change your job place from München to Berlin. And you say, for my family, it's not so clever if I change it because my families stay here a long time. Then it's also sometimes clever to talk with the company and find other solution.
All good. I think this is a very classic example we have.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Livinton, for this example on mediation.
Yes, of course. And also, let's say, ARAG do something also. Let's say if you give your case to us, for example, you give your case to us, you write us a mail, what happened, and you tell your story, then the ARAG also can choose something for you, which system will be great. If you want, you can use the mediation, or you can say, I go directly to the court.
All right. That's fine. So I think we have another 15 to 20 minutes left. I'll go on to the dental insurance if others don't have any questions on this.
If there are any questions? No.
Any questions to ask on liability or legal or household, or shall we move on to dental? Okay, I take silence as a yes. Or if you come across a question, feel free to ask it anytime or at the end. It's totally okay. So thank you, Livy. I think these are all the major questions I had. I will also share with everybody the pricing thing you sent me. So if there are any questions, feel free to write to us back on email, guys. So, or if you have question now, you can still ask. I think we have a couple of them still on.
Of course, we have time, of course, yeah.
Yeah, we have time. So do you guys have any questions on dental insurance in general? Okay, so I will take that as a no in that case. So thank you, Livy, once again for your time, and thank you everybody for taking part. So we will see each other. I'll send emails, and we'll see each other in the next session tomorrow for buying houses. And have a nice evening, and see you soon. Yeah, take care and bye-bye. Thanks, Livy.
Bye-bye.